Proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania. This is WNEP 16, the news station. Now, from the area's largest television news organization, this is Newswatch 16 Weekend.
You may not have known it, but there was a strike overnight at General Dynamics in Einan. The strike was all over in about 3 hours, and this morning all was quiet at General Dynamics. Work there will go on as scheduled on Monday. A contract was settled on during the night that covers General Dynamics plants nationwide, so there is no strike. A company spokesman says the contract, though, still needs to be voted on by all General Dynamics unionized workers. In Kingston today, there was the observance of a rather sad anniversary. The 1st Battalion of the 109th Field Artillery took note of the 33 artillerymen who were killed in 1956 during the Korean conflict. The men died when the train they were riding in was hit by another in Ohio. Members of the 109th past and present turned out to mark the memories of those who died 35 years ago. Well, still ahead, recognition of a different kind and on a much happier note. In Union County, Kathy Bellich will take us to a barn party, a thank you party, really, for a group of good folks. Newswatch 16 Weekend will continue.
Have you heard the myth that shampoos can only clean hair? For over 50 years, I've been formulating shampoos that not only clean, but moisturize and add thickness and sheen to the hair. Nexus Therapy shampoo helps make your hair silky, shiny, and glowingly alive. Therapy is a thick, luxurious shampoo enriched with selected botanicals. Whether your hair is dry, thin, brittle, or oily, Nexus has a shampoo that's just right for you. Ask for your free trial size of Nexus Therapy shampoo at these fine salons.
Here's what you should be doing instead of suffering from cramps. With the help of Maximum Cramp Relief Formula Pamprin. It has as much aspirin-free pain reliever as extra-strength Tylenol, plus a special cramp reliever. So get it and get out there.
Hey, you guys may wonder why I'm dressed so elegant. Well, for your information, the boys at Meisterbrow have cooked up a little sweepstakes.
Sweepstakes?
On October 20th, they're going to call homes all across the U.S. of A. And if you can answer one simple question about rich, smooth Meisterbrow, you can win an all-expense-paid trip to Hawaii. Just look for yours truly down to the store for details. And remember, the poo-poo platters are waiting.
To enter the Meisterbrow sweepstakes, look for this display.
Well, it's always nice to have a bit of good news to pass along, and that's what this story is, good news. It's about some folks in Union County who lent a helping hand and this weekend got exactly what they deserved.
As the sun sets these days, all is well with the Russells in Gregg Township. They have a new barn thanks to the help of dozens of people, friends and strangers alike. Their old barn was mangled by a tornado that twisted across the state last May. The barn had stood here for more than 100 years. The tornado tore apart the whole farm and the Russells' farmhouse. The broken trees linger to remind everyone who helped Maxine and William Russell clean up the mess and put their lives back together was invited to the new barn for a celebration.
Without our family and our friends and all the love and support and help they gave us, we just couldn't have come back without them.
Sadly to say, during the commotion we didn't even get some of those people's names.
They came.
I don't know who they were, you know.
The Russells' friends say there was no hesitation to help. A few months ago, they just did what they had to do.
They would have done it for us or anybody else that, you know, in the same situation. They would have been right there. And we have had times that, you know, we've been down and out, and they've been right there to help, too. It's just a natural thing to do.
If he wouldn't have come and got me, I'd have been here anyhow.
I'm sure.
It's just the way it was.
The Russells say their friends would not take gifts of appreciation, so they threw a big barn bash for everyone.
The Russells say this celebration is a big thank you very much to everyone who helped them when they really needed it. Kathy Bellich, Newswatch 16, Gregg Township.
Well, there's a few items to keep you up with what's going on in the world. 26 cars carrying sulfuric acid jumped the tracks in Texas overnight. They fell into a creek and killed fish and vegetation and forced 300 people to evacuate. There was a chemical leak at Union Carbide's West Virginia plant last night. No one was hurt, but it was the 7th leak in the past 5 weeks at that plant. Susan Aiken of Mississippi is our new Miss America. She was crowned last night in Atlantic City. She was a veteran of more than 100 beauty pageants. Well, we're living longer these days, but still in all, someone who reaches 100 years is worth noting. One was noted today at the German Hotel in Scranton. Dr. Emanuel Rubin had reached the century mark, and some friends of his wanted to make sure that it didn't just pass as another birthday. He thought that was pretty good.
Let's see that. Look at that. A nice sweater. Wow, that's lovely. Isn't that nice?
Well, there's a happy moment for you in Scranton today. I didn't get my lawn cut before I came into work, but certainly couldn't blame the weather for that. Paul Hepner, is this sunshine going to be around for a little while yet?
It was a cool night last night, kind of a nice morning for pulling the covers up and rolling over again. Is that the reason why you didn't get the lawn cut?
It's something like that.
Okay, I just thought I'd put you on the spot, Mike. When we come back, I'll show you the reason why many people decide to wait until September to take their vacation.
Mr. Donor recruits, Chad Hut! So, you think you're pretty wonderful, don't you? Yeah. Think you're looking good and tasting fresh. Well, let me tell you something. I've been watching you pretty closely lately, and I'll tell you what I think. I think you deserve a promotion. So here's the promotion.
Win great prizes like a Hawaiian holiday for two, plus instant winner treats in the 2 for the Road sweepstakes, now at participating Mr. Donut shops.
I'd say it's probably imported from England.
Tastes imported, but it's really America's own. Genesee 12-horse ale.
If I was a European brewer, I'd be in trouble. I'd be really looking out and saying, hey, what can I do? They've got a better product than I have. I'd watch out for 12-horse sales because I've got a real competitor. I haven't had it before, but I've got one now.
Imported taste in an American ale. Genesee 12-horse.
It's a winner. They've got a winner.
Hollywood Video and Stereo. We're bringing Hollywood to your home. Hollywood Video and Stereo offers you a lifetime membership to Hollywood for only $29.95. In addition, you can rent or buy your VCR or camera at Hollywood Video and Stereo at very affordable prices. Visit Hollywood Video and Stereo now in Bloomsburg, Kingston, and Hazleton.
We're bringing Hollywood to your home.
The United States Environmental Protection Agency has announced plans for a nationwide $4 million study of radon. The decision comes in the wake of a severe problem with household radon gas discovered in eastern Pennsylvania, a problem that may be threatening hundreds, even thousands of people with an increased risk of lung cancer. Newswatch 16's Dan Fiorucci tells why radon is dangerous and why a federal study is so important.
Radon gas breaks down from uranium in the soil. When this gas accumulates in a home, its radioactive byproducts can get into your lungs and cause cancer.
You have the equivalent lung cancer risk of what in your home?
20 packs of cigarettes a day.
And you don't even smoke?
No, I do not smoke. I have never smoked in my life.
Bob Green's house is contaminated with high levels of radon. So are at least 1,000 other homes measured by state authorities in southeastern Pennsylvania.
You should be receiving your detectors sometime early next week.
Here in northeastern Pennsylvania, where the state hasn't made measurements, Newswatch 16 and the U.S. Department of Energy placed 84 radon detectors in 42 homes in our viewing area. We found half the homes had radon readings higher than considered safe by state standards.
If you had a house in our area, what would you be doing if you had a house where no measurements had yet been made and you had seen this data?
Well, knowing what I do and if I'd seen this data, I would like to get a measurement made in my house, if I'm in that part of the country.
People exposed to these average levels, you would expect some of them to develop lung cancer.
Yes, definitely. Calculated cancers from this sort of level would amount to a lifetime risk of about 2%.
Because no one really knows just how many radon hotspots there are across the country, the Environmental Protection Agency wants to conduct a $4 million nationwide radon survey over the next 3 years.
EPA has announced a fairly large-scale national survey.
On a special WNEP broadcast called Radon, EPA Radiation Officer Bill Bellinger said the survey won't measure every house. It will just identify potentially hot areas.
Well, our chances in measuring every house are just about zero.
My heavens, you'd have to triple your budget at least.
50 million, I think it's about 50 million houses in the U.S.
The Radon survey plan must still be approved by Congress. The Senate is expected to vote on the matter this week. Dan Fiorucci, Newswatch 16.
Well, we have had 2 good weather days in a row, and I'm almost afraid to ask if there's going to be another, but I will. Paul Hepner, what do we have to look forward to over the next couple of days?
A very boring weather pattern, Mike, and for many folks, this is a great weather pattern featuring lots of sunshine. Actually, picture postcard weather with super visibility, a few puffy clouds in the sky, light winds, and delightful temperatures that will continue for the next several days. Now, did you know that Halley's Comet is visible in the sky? We do have some clear skies out there tonight, and you'll need a telescope, though, to see the comet. It will not be visible to the naked eye until later on in the year, but if you have a telescope and you are an early riser around 5 o'clock in the morning, take a look north of the star 71 Orionis, and you might be treated to Halley's Comet. Okay, let's treat you to the current readings in the backyard. Delightful weather continues, and temperatures are still in the 60s. A little bit cool for this time of the year, 67 degrees. Relative humidity, 45%. The wind from the west at 9 miles per hour. Light winds. Barometer falling just a little bit from 30.36 inches. Our high temperature today was 68. Low temperature last night, another chilly one, 38 degrees, just 3 degrees shy of the record low, 35, which was set back in 1902. And a few flags and kites were flying in those light breezes today. But it was record cold once again throughout the East Coast. No records here in the backyard, but 41 tied the record in Pittsburgh. Washington, D.C., 38 degrees. Raleigh, North Carolina, 44. 42 over in Roanoke. And the mountains of North Carolina over in Asheville had 38 degrees. The Peaches were a little chilly in Georgia last night, with Athens, Georgia, coming in right around 50. Here's the reason why on the satellite picture. You can see the big, massive high-pressure system that has been in control of our weather for the last several days. It's still hanging on. Those clear skies going right down along the coast. Now, it's the interaction between that high-pressure system and the hot air down along the coast of Florida that's producing some very gusty northeast winds down there. They have some beach erosion problems from the coast of Florida right on up through Georgia. That will subside during the next couple of days. A few showers with a stationary front down through Texas, but most of the country is enjoying fair weather. Now, look at the weather map for tomorrow. Shows that the high-pressure system will still continue to hang on, sitting right over us. That means delightful temperatures up in the 70s. Low humidity continues. Just perfect weather. Now, this high will gradually continue to shift off to the east, and as it does so, the wind will come up from the south. And that means that we'll see some warmer temperatures moving in, but seasonably warm for the next several days. My forecast for tonight calls for the weather to be cool. It'll still be nippy outside. Temperatures dropping into the upper 30s across the northern counties. Dallas coming in 41 degrees, Tamaqua 42. Temperatures out across the central counties also in the low 40s tonight with a calm wind. For tomorrow, we're on a roll. The fine weather continues. High temperature 72 degrees in Rushville. Laurel Run coming in 73. Greeley, which is over in Pike County, 70 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow. But look at this, 74, the magic number in Ashland, Faxon, and Potter's Mills with a variable wind. Sunrise and sunset tomorrow look as follows. At sunrise in the morning is at 6:45, and sunset 11 minutes past 7 o'clock. It'll be cool tonight. Low temperature 41 in the backyard. Some 30s across northern Pennsylvania tonight. Sunshine tomorrow, 72 for a high temperature. We'll be moderating a couple of degrees for the next several days, so I expect to see pleasant weather on Tuesday, 74, 76 on Wednesday with sunshine, and it could be warm by Thursday. Sunshine temperatures getting up into the mid to upper 70s. So, Mike, fine weather continues. Tonight at 11 o'clock, I'll tell you how the drought situation is doing here in the east.
Yes, nice weather for the next few days, Paul. Better weather to go fishing than to cut grass with, I suppose.
I think that's the easy way out.
I'll take it. Thank you, Paul. Well, now that we've finished with weather, the next most important order of business is sports, especially if you're a Yankee fan and you're hoping the Yanks can break even in their series with the Blue Jays. John Evans will tell us that on Sports Watch straight ahead.
It's a warehouse clearance sale now going on for 1 week only at Cadle TV and Appliance Stores in Wilkes-Barre and Shavertown. Special prices on RCA color TV sets and video cassette recorders. See the new RCA stereo-ready 26-inch dark tube consoles. Remember, all TV sets sold by Cadles are covered by a 2-year warranty on all parts and labor. Hurry, this sale is for 1 week only. We're open every night till 8 o'clock. Cadle TV, where the service people know the answers.
In Europe, breakfast is a way of life. Freshness and flavor are passions. Which is why Schwartau is the largest selling brand of preserves in Europe. Schwartau tastes like the naturally sweet berries it's made from. Now available here. Schwartau.
Well, this was a fine day for football and baseball and all those things that make up a Sunday afternoon in the world of sports. John, what's the good news and the bad news? I suppose it depends on who you like, huh?
Well, who do you want? I'll give bad news first and then a lot of good news.
Okay, fine.
Bad news first. Before the Yankees-Blue Jays series began Thursday night, Yankee fans were licking their chops at a chance to be in first place after it was all over. Well, it is over, and the Yankees are only licking their wounds now. Blue Jays won today, now 4.5 games up on the Yankees. Big third inning for the Jays. They scored 6 runs. Rance Mullinix with the first one. Singles home Tony Fernandez, and it's 1-0. It was 2-0 when Cliff Johnson singled to right field, scored Mullinix and George Bell, and that one made it 4-0. Now watch this next play. This is a little weird. Jesse Barfield wraps one down the left field line. Rick Leach will come around to score. He would have scored anyway. But Bobby Meacham's throw here goes into about the 5th row. And they give Barfield home plate. That's made it 6-0. Nice defense today by the Blue Jays as well. Watch this throw by George Bell. Dave Winfield with a shot to left. Don Mattingly will try and score. Will he? Yankee fans, it wasn't your day. Boom, boom. Nice play. Still 6-0. Yankees got 3 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. It wasn't enough. The final in this one, 8-5 Toronto. Go to the scoreboard in the American League. There you see it, 8-5. Yankees picked up Joe Niekro today in a trade for Jim Deshays. So Joe and Phil both on the same team. Detroit beat Baltimore 4-1. Boston beats Milwaukee by a score of 4-2. First game 4-2 Oakland in the 8th. Second game is a late start. That doubleheader between Kansas City and Oakland. California 5-0 in the 5th over Texas. Minnesota 5-2 and Chicago 4-3 in the 2nd over Seattle. The National League East looks like it might go down to the last day. Starting today, the Cardinals had a half-game lead over the Mets. We have highlights of both games. First, the Mets and the Expos. Gary Carter got it started for the Mets in the first inning. A single off John Dobson's leg scores Mookie Wilson, and that made it 1-0. Danny Heap then padded the lead a little bit, 4-zip, after he hits this 3-run home run to right center field, and his 8th of the year. Howard Johnson will then put a little icing on the cake in the 3rd inning. A homer to right made it 5-1. The final 6-2 Mets. They're still a half back because the Cardinals beat the Cubs. In that game, Cesar Cedeno opened the scoring with a single of Tommy Hare, comes around to score, and it's 1-0. Cubs then tied it later. Ryan Sandberg doubles into the left field corner. That will score a run and make it 1-1, as Willie McGee has a little problem with it. Then Cedeno again opens it up. Watch this gigantic shot. And you know what the announcers say when it goes out of Wrigley Park? It's on to Sheffield Avenue. Out of the park, 4-1 at this point. Cedeno then finished it later on, a double to make it 5-1. That was the final. Cardinals still up by a half game. National League scoreboard. We take a look at it. There you see the Mets and the Cardinals both winning today. Cincinnati over Los Angeles. Pittsburgh over the Phillies 5-4. Atlanta over San Francisco 4-1. And tonight, San Diego and Houston. Last Monday night, the Dallas Cowboys couldn't do anything wrong when they destroyed the Washington Redskins. Well, today, the Lions made sure they didn't do many things right. The Lions with the biggest surprise of pro football week number 2. First quarter, Eric Hipple for the Lions, 22-yard touchdown pass to Jeff Chadwick all alone in the end zone, and it's 7-0 Detroit. The defense was tough for Detroit. They stopped the Cowboys. Watch this on a 4th and goal. Boom, he's not going anywhere. Tigers took over in the second half. It was 20-0 Detroit. James Jones made it 26-0 with his 2-yard run. Dallas did get 3 TDs in the 4th quarter. 2 touchdown passes on a run by Gary Hogaboom. The final 26-21 the Lions. Washington had a tough time with the Oilers today. Joe Theismann 7-0 right here over to Calvin Muhammad in the first quarter. George Rogers, watch this run. He disappears inside for a minute. Gets hit a couple times, gets hit again, then rolls off. You lose him, loses the cameraman, but then he rumbles 31 yards for a touchdown, 14-0 Skins. 16-3, 9 seconds before the half. Warren Moon up top to Drew Hill for the touchdown. 16-10 at half. 16-13, 4:17 left. Tony Zendejas to tie it. Hits the right upright. Final 16-13 Skins. NFL scoreboard. The Lions over Dallas. Washington over Houston. The Jets over Buffalo, big 42-3. St. Louis over Cincinnati, 41-27. Marino, 2 touchdown passes, Miami over Indianapolis. The Rams over Philadelphia. Chicago over New England, 27. Now some partials in the third. Green Bay 17-6 over the Giants. Minnesota 17-3 over Tampa Bay. Denver 21-6 over New Orleans. Atlanta 10-0 over San Francisco. And San Diego 23-14 over Seattle. For the first time in 28 years, the United States Ryder Cup golf team has lost the Ryder Cup competition. The British European team beat the Americans in Sutton, Coldfield, England today, 16.5 to 11.5. The Britons won 6 of the first 8 singles matches today to clinch the win, their first in Ryder Cup competition since 1957. Back on the update with more NFL highlights, more Major League Baseball highlights, and a lot of other stuff.
Well, we'll all be waiting for that, John.
I can tell you'll be waiting with bated breath, Mike.
Yes. Thank you, sir. See you later.
Okay.
Well, we'll all be back with a final word as Newswatch 16 weekend continues.
Motor Twins Ford has its lowest rate ever. It's our 7.7 sale on new 85 Ford trucks and cars. And Motor Twins has more to choose from. This is Steve Maranko from Motor Twins. It's our 7.7 sale of the century, or get up to $1,000 cash back from Ford. It's for a limited time only at the Ford Giant in Kingston or Wilkes-Barre. And remember, you never need a down payment to drive away in a brand new Ford truck or car from Motor Twins, the Ford Giant.
Have you heard the myth that shampoos can only clean hair? For over 50 years, I've been formulating shampoos that not only clean, but moisturize and add thickness and sheen to the hair. Nexus Therapy shampoo helps make your hair silky, shiny, and glowingly alive. Therapy is a thick, luxurious shampoo enriched with selected botanicals. Whether your hair is dry, thin, brittle, or oily, Nexus has a shampoo that's just right for you. Ask for your free trial size of Nexus Therapy shampoo at these fine salons.
And 5. Morris.
I thought she was dead.
I'll be like new after my wheat germ.
Wanna bet?
Have to eat right. Oh, I've got something good for you, too.
Who says I need improving?
Good things like chicken, fish, liver. It's 9 Live Super Supper.
Super supper? Well, I could stretch to the ball.
Now the Morris calendar. Free with purchase. Details in Sunday's paper. From 9 Lives.
Finally tonight, a little bit of music to say goodbye with. At the Hanover Area Stadium this afternoon, there was a tournament of music featuring marching bands from our region providing the music you always hear at halftime. It's a good way to say so long to an almost autumn day in September. We'll all be back later with more news, sports, and weather on the Weekend Update after the movie. Have a nice evening.